What's
How
that?
much time do I
You
have?
got 1 hour.
Holy smoke. All right. I don't know about the power, and I don't know about enlightening anybody, but a message was passed to me through a book, and that message has changed my life. And the people who showed me that message asked me to pass it on, and that's what I try to do. My name is Samuel B., and I say B because I heard this was being recorded. If it wasn't, I'd give you my full last name. And I'm a grateful recovered alcoholic. And I recovered from a seemingly hopeless state of mind and body. That seemingly hopeless state of mind was that somehow, some way, I would control and enjoy my drinking. Somehow. Somehow it would scratch the itch that I can get. And the uncontrollable state of the body was that I have an allergy to this stuff. When I put alcohol into my system, my body says, that ain't enough, send some more. That's what it says, that ain't enough, send some more. And I send some more, and they go, that still ain't enough, send some more. And it will continue to say that until I pass out. And then when I come to, it's go, hey, send some more right now. And that's what it does. And I have a trigger. I have a major trigger when I'm drinking. It's called breathing. If I'm still breathing, I want to drink. That's just the way it is. It has nothing to do with people, places, and things. If I'm breathing, I want to drink. And I didn't know these things about myself. And by graciously deciding to come to Alcoholics Anonymous by way of the Department of Correction, I learned some things about myself that I didn't know. I'm told I got an hour to do this, and I don't know if I can do it for a whole hour. And I don't have a clock. Panic. Oh, all right, better. See, you got to ask for help. You got to ask for help all the time, all the time. Now, if I could see that thing, it'd be different. Step two. Step two is a very, very important step for me because it's the God step for me, and it's the bridge for me from trusting and relying on the booze to take care of me to trying something else that I really don't quite understand. I have my own understanding, but if you would ask me write down on a piece of paper exactly what it is, I'd just drop the pencil because I'm not going to be able to do it. A person like me, I have to keep it simple. I don't exactly know how a microwave works. I really don't. I don't know how I plug this thing into to the outlet, and the electricity comes into this thing, and I stick a cold cup of coffee in there, and it zaps it some kind of way, and it comes out hot. I don't know how to do that. Now, I know I can't take a cord and stick it in there and attach the cord to the cup, because if I do that, I'm going to have a shocking experience. But if I stick it in that microwave for just a minute or two, bam, hot cup of coffee. I know that if I put certain foods in there and put it in there for several minutes, bam, instant food hot. I don't know how that thing works, but I know how to use it. Well, I don't exactly know how my higher power works, but I know how to use it. I know how to trust and rely on it. I know how to get a meal out of it that's going to sustain me and keep me going. I used to trust and rely on my alcohol to get me through the day, to help me to make it. My drink was not my problem. It was my solution to my problem. I didn't know that when I was out there. I thought if I just cut down or just regulate or just don't get totally wasted before going to court, I got a shot at getting out. I had these plans, and I had no idea what the problem was until coming to Alcoholics Anonymous. You told me that the state of mind I would enter into before I took the drink was the problem. And if I did not enter into that state of mind, I wouldn't pick up. I was like, wow. So the problem ain't the drink. The problem is what causes me to think I can drink. And I needed something that could help me spot, admit, and correct that thinking before I acted on it. And step 2 was a key component in that equation. I needed to lean on something other than me in figuring this thing out. I had to trust in something other than me to figure this thing out. Because I couldn't trust in me. I'd lie to myself. You know, I give myself all kinds of excuses. And I mostly blamed you. You had something to do with it. You did. You pissed me off. You said something to me at work. You cut me off. You tried to kill me. And all kinds of things sent me into a disturbed state of mind. While I was in that disturbed state of mind, I needed just some relief. I needed to calm myself down. So I go to my mind, and either I go on a massive killing spree or I drink. I go on a massive killing spree in my home or I drink. So I'm doing society a favor by getting drunk. I am. I'm helping out society here. It's my civic duty to get drunk, and not just get drunk, get so drunk I can't go nowhere and do nothing. And so I go out for the best solution. Thank God for Alcoholics Anonymous. They told me that kind of thinking is insane. Where I thought it was good, you know. There's something in the 12-step book I'm gonna quote because I can't remember this stuff precisely, and these books have a better way of saying it than me. And in step 2, it says, "Then I woke up." That's a beautiful thing. I didn't even know I was asleep. Okay, then I woke up. I had to admit that AA showed results, prodigious results. I'm not sure what the prodigious means, but I think it's something good. Okay. I saw that my attitude regarding these things had been anything but scientific. It wasn't AA that had the closed mind. It was me. The minute I stopped arguing, that's frickin' 60 seconds. That's 60 seconds, not 60 days, 60 seconds. The minute I stopped arguing, I could begin to see and feel. Right there, step 2, gently and very gradually began to infiltrate my life. I can't say upon what occasion or what day I came to believe in a power greater than myself, but I certainly have that belief now. To acquire it, I had only to stop fighting and practice the rest of the AA program as enthusiastically as I could. So in practicing the rest of the program, I'm going to understand step 2. So I don't even understand step 2 when I'm on step 2, and I'm not supposed to. I'm supposed to keep moving. You know, I was going to say, well, I ain't moving till I thoroughly understand it, and I know exactly how PP&L is getting that energy down here, and I want to know how the microwave works before I move. You know, he said, no, push the button, bing, drink the coffee, now let's keep moving. I couldn't do that. You know, and I needed to have faith. I needed to have faith in this program. And I didn't really have that when I got here, but I had faith in you. See, what I had faith in was you guys believed in something that was doing something for you that I had no clue what it was. But you believed in it. You believed in it, and it was working for you. Either that or you all lying. So, yeah, I mean, either or. And I believe that most of you, not all, most of you were telling the truth. And so I began to seek that belief. I had a belief in a power greater than myself that was twisted and warped, and I had developed it along my way in my journey. But it was my co-pilot. It wasn't my pilot. When I passed out over there and I woke up in safety over there, co-pilot took over. I had no clue how I got from point A to point B. When somehow I was trying to avoid the authorities over there, and I woke up over there, and I wasn't in jail, co-pilot took over. I did not know how he did it or what means he did it, but he was the one to save me. See, my co-pilot, he's the one I turned things over to. He's the one that I trusted in when I didn't know where to go or what to do. He was my Pinch League batter. He was the last resort, not the first resort. I had things mixed up and didn't know it. Didn't know it. I got the bigger print, so I'm going to go to this one. In We Agnostics, there were some things that were in there that really helped me to understand what AA meant as a higher power. Because I was always told, this is what God is, and this is what you better believe in it, or you're going to a hot place. Matter of fact, you're already on your way. So if you don't change and do exactly what I say, you're going to burn. And I'm like, I'm going to burn then. You know, I mean, I can't do that, what you're asking me to do. It's too hard. And then I get to AA, and AA told me something different. AA told me that much to our relief, we discovered we did not need to consider another conception of God. Whoa! So I don't have to believe in this crap these people trying to shove down my throat. I like that. Let's see what else is in store from AA. Because I had people trying to tell me who God was. And the program told me I don't even have to consider what they're telling me. Let go and let God. Trust, just you go ahead, okay? You know when they tell me what God is? Thank you for sharing. and don't argue with them. Don't fight them. Don't fight them. Then it says, our own conception, however inadequate, was sufficient to make the approach and to effect a contact with him. So it didn't say I was going to understand him, but my own idea of what he is was enough to start my journey towards him. Not towards understanding him, but just towards him. So again, I don't have to take what somebody else was telling me. And then it says, as soon as we admitted the possible existence of a creative intelligence, a spirit of the universe underlying the totality of things, we began to be possessed of a new sense of power and direction, provided we took other simple steps. So it keeps telling me I still got to go on. The second step is a launching pad for me. See, first I had to admit that I've got the disease, it's going to kill me. Then I had to do step 2. Something can help me. Go get it. You know, that's all. That's all. Now, I don't know what that something is, and I don't know how to go get it. I'm going to find that out on the way. I'm going to find that out in the seeking. Then again, it reiterates itself. When therefore we speak to you of God, we mean your own conception of God. Ho, ho. That means my conception of God. I got it now. Whatever I say God is to me, that's my God. What about what you say? Well, I don't even have to consider it. Don't even have to consider it. I begin to get freedom, spiritual freedom, to start constructing something I can work with. And over the years, I've changed it. It's been developed and changed and modified, and there's been corrections in there, and there's been mistakes in there. It's not a a destination. Okay, here I got God, I'm good. It's a learning process. It's a trial and error process. But I'm no longer where I was. And where I am is not a horrible place. And where I'm going to be is going to be even better than where I am now. And I have the faith that that's going to happen. And I do know this. Relying on God is so much better than relying on myself, because I will lie to me consistently and hurt me. My God wants the best for me, whatever it is. He wants the best for me. And I had to believe that, trust that he is the way out of the disaster. I am the way into it. I got to believe that, because I manufacture my own misery. I construct it and blame you. See, I know who's at fault here, all of you. See, as soon as I leave here, you all going to talk about me. Yeah, you know, that's the way it is. And people like at the job or people at other places who aren't even here are going to read your mind and have a plan there. You know, that's why I got to get out from behind enemy lines. I can't go there. Then it says here, this too applies to other spiritual expressions you may find in this book. So what happens is, when I see this book talk about God, they're not talking about the Christian God or the Muslim God or the Hindu or whatever. They're talking about mine, because that's the one I need to develop a relationship with. That's the one I need to turn my will and my life over to. That's the one I need to trust and rely on, because that's the one who wants the best for me. And eventually, when I get to step 11, I'm going to pray only for the knowledge of my God's will and the power to carry that out. And as I do that, I grow along spiritual lines, up and out of whatever would-be problem I was creating for myself, to a better way of life. And I don't end up making the stuff that's going to create that state of mind, that's going to lead me into the madness, that's going to cause me to drink. And when I begin to construct that stuff, I have a program that helps me to spot it, admit it to somebody in here I can trust, and to correct it by turning it over to God and move in a better direction. I didn't have that before I came here. When I look at the step 2, I look at it at the overview. I look at the proposals. I look at the outline, which is on page 58, I believe. Now, that's an outline. That's an overview. That's not the step. That's just an outline and an overview. The step is going to be found on page 47. And the step is this. We needed to ask ourselves but one short question. Do I now believe, or am I even willing to believe, that there's a power greater than myself? That's it. Then it says, as soon as, that's like right now, as soon as a man can say he does believe or is willing to believe, we emphatically assure him he's well on his way. So when I'm working with my sponsees and I get them to this point, I say, okay, do you believe there's a possible existence that something out there is more powerful than you? And they go, yep. I shake the hand. I'm emphatically sure you're well on your way. Then we put and then we move. We don't talk about it anymore. We're not talking about step 2 anymore. We're moving to step 3, because he's going to learn more about step 2 as he works the rest of the program. He's going to learn more about step 2 as he has questions about it as he works the rest of the program. See, this man needs relief. He needs relief from the stuff that is happening to him that's going to cause him to go into a state of mind where he's going to drink. And a lot of people, he goes out and drink and they say, well, he wasn't ready. What the frick does that mean? He's an alcoholic. He wants to drink. And if it was anything like me, he had a trigger. It's called breathing, you know? There was more to my trigger than breathing, coming to. It was coming to also. Like when that eye opened up and you had, I got to be careful. Any kids in here? Okay. When there was food that wasn't digested properly and it was still like coming out and it was like crusting over the eyes, as soon as you could like get it off the eyes so you could open it up and see, then you had to have another drink to open up that eye. And that was a whole nother way to think. Hopefully I have not been swearing. I've been working on that through the years, because when I used to share, it was, and then blink, 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 and then I felt blink, 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 and then blink. You know, I couldn't help it. I couldn't help it. And now I try to practice not to use profanity to express myself in certain yeah, that stuff. But when I go into the jail, woo! Okay. So what am I trying to do with step 2? What am I trying to achieve with step 2? Step 2 is the second part of the archway. The beginning of the archway, the foundation, is willingness. A willingness to attempt, a willingness to trust, a willingness to try, a willingness to do something. But then the cornerstones is believe. Believe in a power greater than oneself. And as I become willing to believe in a power greater than oneself, I'm not going to spoil the end of it because there's a keystone that comes after me. But we get to willing to believe in a power greater than ourselves, which is, then the keystones are going to be spoken about, then I'm able to walk through the archway. And there's more stones to come about, more principles to practice. And what that does for a person like me, it's going to make me have what is known as a spiritual awakening. And I wanted to know what a spiritual awakening was because I had my own ideas, you know. Bam! Oh, wow, lights and all that. And the book is described the spiritual awakening, and there's a solution. It said ideas, emotions, and attitudes. Ideas, emotions, and attitudes, which were once the guiding forces in the lives of these men, step 6, was suddenly cast to one side, turning 6 over. And a completely new set of conceptions and motives begin to dominate them, step 7. So I'm going to move from the things that were killing me and hurting me to the things that's going to make me feel good. And I'm going to use a power greater than myself to do that. And as I do that, I wake up, like the 12th step says. Then I woke up. I woke up to new possibilities. I knew up to new tools I didn't know existed. I wake up to new ways of feeling, behaving, and operating that I didn't know existed. I woke up to a new state of mind, which was not leading me towards a drink. It was leading me away from a drink. Because now, see, a drink is no longer what's going to bring me relief. I can see clearly it's going to bring me devastation, court dates, and lots of money gone. Whereas following the solution, I'm going to have things beyond my wildest imagination and dreams. I have hope today. Whether or not I achieve all the things I hope for doesn't matter because I'm on that journey. I'm on that road. One of my favorite passages is on 386. And that's the power passage. And I really love it. And it says, here, I found an ingredient that had been lacking in any other effort I made to save myself. Here was power. Here was power to live to the end of any given day. Power to have the courage to face the next day. Power to have friends. Power to help people. Power to be sane. And power to stay sober. And that was 7 years ago, and many an AA meeting ago. And I haven't had to have a drink during those 7 years. And moreover, I am deeply convinced that so long as I continue to strive in my bumbling way, I don't even got to do it right. I I can bumble with the best of them. I love this. In my bumbling way towards the principles I first encountered in the earlier chapters of this book, that remarkable power will continue to flow through me. What is this power? With my AA friends, all I can say is that it's a power greater than myself. If pressed further, all I can do is follow the psalmist who said it long before me. Be still, step 11. Be still and know that I am God. My story has a happy ending, but not of the conventional kind. I had a lot more hell to go through. But what a difference there is between going through hell without a power greater than yourself than with it. As might have been predicted, my teetering tower of worldly success collapsed. My alcoholic associates fired me, took control, and ran the enterprise into bankruptcy. My alcoholic wife took up with someone else, divorced me, and took with her all my remaining property. The most terrible blow of my life befell me after I found sobriety. AA, perhaps the single flicker of decency that shone through the fog of my drinking days, was a clumsy affection for my two children, a boy and a girl. One night, my son, when he was only 16, was suddenly and tragically killed. The higher power was on deck to see me through, sober. I think he's on hand to see my son through, too. There have been some wonderful things also. My new wife and I don't own any property to speak of, and the flashy success of another day are no longer mine. But we have a baby who, if you pardon a little post-alcoholic sentimentality, is right out of heaven. My work is on a much deeper and more significant level than ever has been before. And today, I am a fairly creative, relatively sane human being. And should I have any more bad times, I know that I'll never have to go through them alone. And this comes from the story, Me Alcoholic. It'd be nice if maybe somebody reads through it sometime, because there's some really good, powerful stuff in there. The program of Alcoholics Anonymous was geared to show us how the first 100 recovered alcoholics went through the program and what they did. And the fellowship of our groups and things like that are beautiful. They're wonderful. But if I was to go and tell this gentleman something in his ear, and then he pass it on and pass it on and pass it on, we go all around this room, by the time he gets in the back, I don't think it'd be the same exact thing. And that's just in one, 15-minute session. Guess what's happened in the last 80 years? So, if you can, sit down with the book and show another alcoholic the clear-cut directions, and that's what they say, clear-cut directions, precisely how they recovered from alcoholism. And as you do that, you get to keep it, because you can't keep it unless you give it away. And if I don't study this stuff and talk to another alcoholic about it, eventually I'll go, well, this is in the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous, and this is in the 12 steps. And there's something else in Alcoholics Comes of Age. And then I'll say, well, it's in one of the books of Alcoholics Anonymous. And then I go, well, I heard it somewhere. And then I think I heard it somewhere. Well, I don't know if I heard it or not, but let me tell you. And then I'll put my own spin on it, my own words, and eventually, who knows what I'll tell you. You know, I have to look at the message and pass it on. I have to talk about the message and pass it on. I didn't know what I was going to share when I came here, and I was a little bit in a panic because I'm going through some medication problems, some health problems, and people ask me, like, how you doing? How you doing? I go, well, I'm doing the best I can, and I'm hanging in there. Well, actually, I'm doing pretty crappy, you know? And I don't know how to say that, because you say you're doing crappy, and people want to talk to you about being crappy, you know? And I don't want to talk about being crappy, you know? I got certain people I talk to about being crappy, and I tell them, oh, shit's really messed up. They're messing up my meds. They're trying to kill me. I'm taking control, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And I'm doing it with doctors, I don't know, involvement. It's not like I'm doing it by myself. I'm doing it with a pharmacist. I'm doing it with my PCP. And so I'm trying to follow the rules the best I can because they are trying to kill me. See, this is not paranoia. See, I'm an alcoholic, and you tell them they hurt, they go, I got a pill for that. And then you tell them I'm sick and I'm hurting, they got a pill for both of those things. And, and then they call you in and you go, I don't know how I feel. Well, we got a pill that might help that too. And, you know, eventually you got to start turning them down. No, don't give me anything. I'm all right. So it's pretty whack, you know, and now I can't remember a whole lot of things, so I know something's really wrong. And with step 2, there's so much with it. But step 2, unless the person is totally against God, totally doesn't believe in God, is such a quick step. Do you believe there's a possible something somewhere? Yeah, let's move on. You know, it's not, they don't have to understand it. It's like with the microwave. You don't have to tell me how the sound waves bounce off the sides and how many amps it's doing, whatever. Just push the one and put the cup in and ding, that's it. And we can work on the mechanics of it later. But right now we're trying to remove that which is going to drive you insane enough to pick up. Once we learn to remove that, then let's go back for the minutia. And we will, because that minutia needs to be understood. But first, get rid of the pain. Just get rid of the pain. And that's what these guys said do. That's what these guys said do. And I love the program because it saved my life over and over and over again. And first couple of years, I think I relapsed like 30 times. It was nuts. It was nuts. And people kept saying, you kept going out. I said, I ain't go nowhere. I didn't. I came to meetings. I mean, I didn't understand this go-out business. I thought you had to go somewhere, you know, or something. I still kind of weird. It's kind of a weird statement for me. Unless you stop coming, you didn't go out. I don't know. I don't know how it's supposed to work. You know, I feel if you keep coming, eventually you will get this because you can begin to plug the holes that you're missing. You begin to add the things that you're missing. You will bumble your way into this thing, and you don't have to know how to do it. Find somebody else who knows and follow their suggestions. God, a group of drunks. God, good orderly directions. God, great options decided. I mean, there's so many things. The great outdoors. Just get out of your head from behind enemy lines and stop trying to figure it out. They wrote it in a step-by-step procedure in the frickin' book. Did you do it? Did you not? Yes or no? Quit. That's it. That's it. Before I end, and I can't see that clock. I think I'm halfway through. Any questions? Any questions on step 2? I'm not going to give you my opinion. I'm going to the book. Because I don't frickin' know. No questions? Hey, if I have a half an hour, I can sit up here and meditate on my feet. What time is it? I'm good? Is it an hour up? Wow! I made an hour. See, I can talk. Well, that's it, folks.